Hello and welcome back to Learning Target 1.4 for biology, which is on the levels of organization. This is talking about how you can describe how living things are organized in a hierarchy, meaning like a ladder going from the bottom to the top, all the way up from micro, which means really small, to macro, which means really big. So how can we organize life from the small to the big? So this is just kind of an overview that takes us from the atom all the way up to the human, the organism. So we're actually going to go beyond the organism, but let's quickly just look at this. So part of the reason that at Southeastern we teach you physics and then chemistry and then biology is because you can see how we go from the physics atom, then the molecule, to the macro molecule, and then to chemistry, and then to the parts that make up biology and life. So we start with the atom, they make molecules, those make macromolecules, those build organelles, then cells, and so on. So we're going to go through those step by step so you understand what each piece does. So let's we're going to go one at a time, describing how living things are organized. So the first piece is the atom. This is the smallest unit of any element. Okay, it's the smallest unit of matter. Some examples you've heard of before, especially if you had chemistry, are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Okay, now molecules, we've actually went over this already once in biology, but molecules are a group of atoms that make up a substance. So it's when we take one or more atoms and we put them together to make something else. So an example of that is water or carbon dioxide. Water is 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen, H2O. So we take 2 atoms, 2 hydrogens, and 1 oxygen, and we put them together to make water. Okay, so this is what that looks like in picture form. So an atom is like a hydrogen atom or an oxygen atom, but a molecule is those things together. So 2 hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom make a water molecule. Okay. Here's another type of carbon-based molecule. Okay, so these are more than one atom put together. So we take these atoms, we make molecules. We take these molecules and we put them together to make what we call organelles. So these organelles are structures that serve a specific function within a cell. Okay, so an organelle is a structure that serves a specific function within a cell. All right. And we'll go over some examples in a second. Those organelles, if we put those together, we make cells, and cells are the basic unit of life. Okay, so organelles, structure serves a function within a cell, and then cells are the basic unit of life. All right, so here's some examples. So some organelles, and you should have learned this in middle school science. If you didn't, don't worry, we're going to get into it more later. But these organelles are pieces inside of a cell. Okay, they're small parts that do a specific thing. So this is a chloroplast, for example, and it helps us turn light into energy. And this is mitochondria, which helps us convert sugar into energy. So these two pieces are used, are organelles that are part of a cell, and the cell is shown below. So you can see actually all the little organelles. We have the nucleus, the ribosomes, the chloroplast, all together in the cell to make the different pieces of a cell. Okay, so we've got atoms put together to make molecules, put together to organelles, and then the organelles form the cells. Okay, when we put the cells together, we make tissues. So tissue is a group of specialized cells for a unique that form. That should say form. Let's change that to form a unique material. Okay, so the tissues come together to make organs. Organs are a group of tissues that serve a specific function. Okay, so make sure we write this down and then move on to what this actually means. So tissue, okay, not this tissue, okay? We're not talking about tissue you use to wipe your nose, not that tissue. We're talking about these types of tissues. So we have muscle tissue. These are different cells strung together to make a type of tissue. This is like your skin tissue, this is connective tissue, membranes that hold things together, ligaments, nervous tissue, that's what those look like. So we put all these atoms together and we make different types of tissue. Okay. Now, when we take these tissues and we put those together, then we make different types of organs. So some organs include your heart, your lungs, your brain. Okay, those are all different types of organs made by different types of tissues, made by different types of cells, formed by organelles, going all the way back to atoms. Okay, so we're building our way up. After we have organs, we put those organs together and we make organ systems. Okay, an organ system is a group of organs that work together to perform a function. Okay, then we take those organ systems, we put those together to make the organism. You hear the word organ a lot? Yeah, so organism, that's an individual animal, plant, or another form of life, like bacteria or fungi. Those are forms of life. Those are all organisms. Okay, so again, write these into your notes and look at these examples. So some organ systems we have in our body. We have what's called the circulatory system. That includes the heart, which pumps the blood to the blood vessels, okay, to the arteries, and to the veins coming and going from the heart. Okay, that's all part of our circulatory system. Okay, here's another system you're familiar with, the digestive system. Starting with the mouth, going down the esophagus, to the stomach, the intestines, and out. Okay, that's the digestive system. If we put all those organ systems together, we form an organism. All right, now an organism can be any type of living thing. It could be fungi, animals, okay, we have some insects, bacteria, mammals, okay, arachnids there actually, plants. So all of these different things are different organisms made of organ systems. Again, we don't need to go all the way back, but they all build up. Now, take those organisms and we put them together and we have a group of organisms of the same species in the same habitat. That's what we call a population. Okay, so a population is a group of organisms of the same species in the same habitat. Okay, a community is all the populations of the different species in a habitat. All right, so once again, let's look at some examples. All right, so a population, for example, we have a herd of bison here. If you can see, I'll make that bigger for us for a second. All right, you see those bison? Those are like we call those buffalo. It's another word for them. Okay, so that's a herd of bison. So that's a population of bison. Here's a flock of some type of bird. Flock of birds, again, that's a population of birds. Now, when we're talking about a community, we're talking about all the living things in a habitat. So a community is not just the birds, but it's the birds, the bison, the trees, the flowers, the bacteria, the fungi. It's everything in that community. Okay, so community is all the living things. Okay, now an ecosystem is all the living and non-living things. Let's see, that's non-living. We meant non-living, one word. So all living and non-living parts of a habitat. Okay, so the abiotic and biotic factors, or the biotic and the abiotic factors. Okay, a biosphere is a region on the surface of the earth. So that's like a bigger word or a bigger version of an ecosystem. It's a big space. Okay, so an ecosystem is all the living and non-living things part of a habitat. We put those habitats together and we make up a biosphere. Okay, so your ecosystem, it could be like this stream here. Okay, this stream flowing through the mountains. This is an ecosystem, a pretty big one, but that's an ecosystem. It could be something as simple as an aquarium where we have all the living things and the non-living things, including the water. Okay, that's all part of the ecosystem. It could even be a classroom, okay? So a classroom, we have living things, which are the students, the teachers, probably some bacteria and different things floating around. But we also have the non-living things, right? So the concrete, the chalkboards, things that are never alive, those are the non-living things. So an ecosystem is everything put together, okay? Then we have a biome. A biome is basically multiple ecosystems put together. So the Earth is covered in different types of biomes. Okay, so we have grasslands, we have plains, we have forest, we have desert, we have mountain ranges, we have wetlands. Okay, so we have all different types of biomes on the surface of the earth. So this is kind of a picture showing you all the different types and where they are located. All right, and that's it. That is all of 1.4. That is how living things are organized from the smallest to the biggest. Starting from the top or the bottom on your perspective. So if you're Drake, you start from the bottom. The bottom is the atom. Now we're here. That's us. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Okay. Then when we put those organisms together, we put all those organisms together and we make a population, a community, an ecosystem, and a biome. All right. That is it. Go back and replay this if you're stuck and watch the videos, do the readings. Thank you. Bye.